cheese of truth.
Oh, wait a minute. Monterey Jack.
Okay.
Was Chippendale Rescue Ranger.
Yeah.
He was a cheese meister, an Australian mice. Cheese of truth, mate. Hey, everybody. Jim Cummings here. And if Tigger were here, he'd say, thanks, everybody, for bouncing on in here and enjoying the show. But before we go, I want you to do me a small favor. Hit like, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying the show. Now, speaking of enjoying the show, enjoy the show.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Toon'd In with Jim Cummings. I'm producer Chris, joined as always by the legend himself, Mr. Jim Cummings. How are you doing today, sir?
We are back in the saddle again with a damn fine show today, huh?
Yes. And it's been brought to my attention that about, just a little quick announcement, that about like 90% of you that are watching are not subscribed to the channel. So I just want to start this off by saying, shame on you. Very bad.
Boo hiss. Officially.
But seriously, if you guys like this stuff, be sure to subscribe because YouTube's a weird kind of app website. It is possible on YouTube to actually watch something and never be recommended that channel ever again. And on that topic of social media, today we have a very special guest for you. You know him well, tens of millions of followers across all social media, hundreds of millions or billions of views.
On YouTube, combined. Over 14 billion combined.
That was a B, folks.
Yes, in 3.5 years. Across all over 25 billion.
Jeez. You heard the man himself, Mr. Nathan Kessel. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi! It's great to be here, man.
You get your own soundtrack. That's amazing. Good for you. Good for you, pal.
It's always so jarring to be sitting in front of you, Jim, because it's I remember when I was just a baby watching.
I have that effect on everyone.
Yeah, like growing up watching Winnie the Pooh and now being here is absolutely wild. Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Oh, thanks for saying that. Appreciate that. That's good. That is good stuff. Well, you are quite the sensation.
It's been happening.
Man, oh man. I mean, and you do it all with a fabulous sidekick.
That's right.
And there will be some questions coming up about your and a gorgeous mansion house. That helps. And we'll be talking about some of your furniture.
Oh, man.
Downstream.
Exposing me. All right, let's do it, man. Let's do it.
But we're glad to have you.
Thank
you for carving out some time here.
For you, anytime, man. Anytime.
That's amazing. What the heck is your work day like?
Okay, I mean, for a lot of different creators, it can be 9 to 5. It can be 9 to 9. And for some people, it can be like an hour a day. And for me, I used to spend more of like the 9 to 5 type of craftsmanship on my craft. But with social media, as we know, every good thing comes to an end. And, each series on social media has a lifespan of anywhere from 6 months up to 6 years. And when I was starting, I did this Karen series that you won't be able to find really anywhere on the internet. And it was where, I had this awful neighbor Karen and we had a neighborhood feud,
Well, that's a thing too.
Was her name actually Karen?
No, it was my mom.
But
in the series, her name was Karen.
Good.
And is your mom's name Karen?
Yeah, exactly. And it was like the height of the Karen meme. So I was like, what if I had this awful neighbor Karen? We just kept pranking each other. She kept calling me Ethan. And I would spend literally 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. every single day. And the first video, I think, got 40 million. And then the next one got 74 million. And then it just kept going. And then that series eventually, it's called Falling Off, right? The series fell off, it died. And I was like, I will never spend this kind of time on this job ever again. And that's when I started doing the Balls of Fate. And I was like, Balls of Fate. And it said your best friend has to give you $50 or your best friend has to give you $500. And I was like, wow, that took 1 minute to film. Cool. And that got 50 million views every time as well, or 100 million views when I would do it. So.
Have you got, I see you don't have your magic wand with you, but is it back at the ranch? Is that what, because that's amazing. I mean,
which one?
The golden touch.
The golden touch.
Everything is ding, 50 million, please, ka-ching.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a constantly evolving thing. And, it really is some people have it, some people don't. Some people spend it doing a different way, and everybody's golden touch is different. And we all have a different impact and a different like superpower. You know what I mean? Some people are meant to be engineers, some people are meant to be creatives, and it's really amazing to get to be in this space where, you know, I used to be a trained opera singer, and then pivoting into the world of social media was a really different thing. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to, yeah, I didn't think I was gonna be able to do it, but within the first like 2 weeks, I started going pretty viral, and within a month, I had landed my first viral series that landed.
And
on, like,
when is
MTV,
that? What year is that?
That was 2020. So I downloaded TikTok on March 3rd of 2020, and by April 14th, that was when
You owned it.
I had spoiled milk in the fridge. I was living at home, and I was like, all right, let me grab some rubber bands. And I had my mom's like goggles, because she used to be an engineer back in the 80s and 90s. Got her goggles from the 80s, and I was like, all right, I guess it's time to go put rubber bands on this spoiled milk jug, and it just broke the internet.
Really?
Yeah.
No
So
kidding.
I'm really curious about like the full pivot to like, so I'm going to frame it this way. To me, you're of this kind of like, I want to say it's like the second wave of social media influencers. To me, the first wave was kind of like Jenna Marbles,
Yes.
and back in that time frame, I'm kind of drawing a blank, but like
David Dobrik, Mr. Beast, Jenna
Yeah,
Marbles.
yeah. Yeah,
Beast for sure.
I mean, even before the Mr. Beast and everything like that, you know, I'm thinking more like Linus Tech Tips, or like channels that were kind of more like long form educational.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like to me, even Jeffree Star was like kind of part of this newer generation.
Oh, would you say so? Yeah,
you know?
yeah, okay.
Because to me, that's like, you know, you had your YouTubers back in, I'm talking like the early 2010s, you know, like 2012, 2013. At least when I was in college, that's when I first kind of started to take note of like, oh, people are like actually trading this whole thing in for their careers. You know, I remember doing and not to blab on too much, just kind of giving context to my question here. I remember doing oh my goodness, what's the name of the YouTube channel? It doesn't matter what the name is, but it was like a car influencer, you know, all about cars and racing, and Donut Media.
Oh yeah.
And I did a skit for them, and I remember being cast. You know, I was cast traditionally as you would an actor. You know, through an agency. You know, they had you were paid like an actor. It was an 8-hour day like an actor.
Wow.
And I remember going down there, and this is probably 2016, 2017, and they had a full on studio. For their channel. You know, in my mind, you know, I think even at the time it was nuts to even think about YouTube themselves having studios, you know, and this one channel had a studio and casting and all this stuff.
Wow.
Okay, so all that to say, I think the second wave that I refer to that you're a part of is kind of brought along by the vertical media,
Absolutely.
by the TikTok, you know, like all that new vertical kind of media, like the TikTok dances, and your popularity kind of does coincide with the pandemic. I think that's when it kind of blew up, the vertical media, the short form, you know, almost like the Vine reinvented, you know, era. So I say all that to say, long-winded, but were there any previous, you know, social media influencers who inspired you to start doing this? Like, where did that inspiration come from coming from opera into being like, I can make these videos. I want to do this full time.
Yeah, it's a natural progression.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's so obvious.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I didn't even have social media. I never watched YouTube videos before 2020.
Interesting.
It just wasn't, I didn't even really know about, like I watched Netflix, and I would say in like 2019, I had opened YouTube and I was like, oh, there's this like Pokemon Go player. His name is Mystic7, and we're actually friends now, which is so cool because it's like he was like the first person I ever watched. But I had never even heard of like David Dobrik or like really like Mr. Beast or any of them until after I started pursuing it as a career, because I downloaded Instagram at I was 20 or 9, I was 19 maybe. I was a junior in college though, which for my generation was very late. Most people had it in high school or middle school. Like as soon as it came out, people were on it in like 2007.
Well, you caught up.
Yeah, I definitely caught up. And, you know, on March 3rd, what made me download TikTok was, it was a pandemic. And in Houston, Texas, we had the first case of COVID actually at Rice University. And so we shut down, and then Houston shut down, and then the country shut down. And I got really depressed. I was like, man, I was in grad school, but I was also singing anytime I was getting hired for gigs, which was mostly during the summer because the schedules they would make sure it would work, right? But I was singing professionally already by this time. I had sung with the Boston Symphony Orchestra, I had sung with the Rochester Philharmonic Orchestra, and
and those are like some of the biggest in the world, are they not?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The creme de la creme.
Yeah, I started singing with the Boston Symphony when I was 16, actually. And I was the youngest person to actually like get into their choir, the youngest guy to have ever gone into the Boston Symphony's choir.
Wow.
But it was such a weird transition because I knew I wanted to continue to make people feel moved. But with content, it's much harder to make people feel impassioned like what you can with music.
Oh yeah.
Or like sad or bring you to tears. So I was like, what if I could bring people to tears by laughing so hard that they just forget about their troubles in the world for a while and they just can't help but smile.
That'll work too.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was like, okay, I'm really depressed. I lost all my jobs. I had no income coming in. School shut down. I was in my final year of my master's at Rice. I was like, okay, I have a stale marshmallow in a mug. I was like, if this goes in, I'll get a tattoo of SpongeBob. And the stale marshmallow bounced on the ground. It bounced into the cup. And then there was my tattoo of SpongeBob right there. So I don't have a tattoo of Winnie the Pooh yet, but maybe we'll see that in the future.
I can't believe I'm going to call Tom Kenny right now. God damn you.
Yeah, right.
You stole my spot. I wanted the ankle.
Yeah, exactly. But then it just kept blossoming and pivoting into like that Karen series or the Balls of Fate and more and more and more. And I just started this series that really went viral yesterday called The Emotional Support Human. Because you know how we have like emotional support animals. And so
emotional support human.
Yeah, I am my fiance's emotional support human. And
that's good.
It's all about like
that's nice of you.
Yeah. And
you're already there.
Exactly. It's like, all right, like let's just let's just have fun.
Traveling.
Exactly. No traveling. Like it's just super easy and right there. And like we just filmed one in the car. But yeah, the video got on YouTube just 10 million views since yesterday. And
is that all?
Yeah, that's all. I know.
Say it with me.
So, it's just like a lot of fun and, you're just constantly pivoting and, wanting to create more and more ways to make people laugh, So it's just an absolute blast.
Oh, good for you.
So when you first started, was it like, let's try out a couple videos and see where they go? Or it's like, I'm going to do this no matter what, no matter the view count, no matter how long it takes?
That's a great question. I would say that it's always just been about like, I wonder if I can make somebody laugh. Like that's really what it's been about. And I was like, all right, like I see this is what's trending is like if this goes in series and that's what led to that series. And I was like, oh yeah, this is fun. Like I enjoy getting to like make people like feel something like just dropping your jaw because that's so ridiculous that you just got a tattoo of SpongeBob, And then like with the chinchillas and then it just became like, okay, I guess this is working and the day I came in with and the day I came in with the rubber bands and spoiled milk, and I was like walking through the kitchen, and I was like, okay, like maybe this will get views, like maybe this will make people like laugh. It was supposed to be a science experiment, and I'm walking through the kitchen, and my dad's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I'm going to go explode the spoiled milk in the backyard. He started yelling at me. Don't you dare, Nathan. What do you think? You're going to ruin our grass?
Milk all over.
Yeah, you're going to ruin the paint on the house. It's going to get everywhere. And my mom had come down and she started, because she was in her office working, and she starts yelling at him, don't you yell at my son. They're married happily for like 36 years.
Right.
But they always have their fun dynamic of don't you yell at my son. Like he storms out because he's getting yelled at now. And she's like, Nathan, get out there and do whatever you're about to do. And I was like, he ruined it.
And then clean it up.
Yeah, and then clean it up. Yeah. And it's like, I don't want to do it anymore. Like, he ruined it for me. I don't want to make a mess. I don't want to damage anything. And she's like, she said these exact words, get your ass outside right now and do whatever the fuck you were about to do. And if she didn't push me to do that.
I saw that Hallmark card.
Yeah.
That was so sweet.
Oh, it's great.
Remember what Granny says.
That's right.
Get your ass, that is so sweet.
Get your ass outside and do it right now. Because I mean, it's like, what's the worst that could happen? You go viral and it changes your whole life. Like, that's what happened to me, and that's the video that landed on like MTV and ESPN Sports Center and more, Barstools everywhere.
And you did it. Obviously, and that was like the genesis of
that series in particular went so massively viral back then. 10 million views was like your whole life is changed forever.
Sure.
You know? And again, it was enough to get onto ESPN Sports Center. It was enough to get onto MTV's Ridiculousness and Fox's Right This Minute and whatever other TV shows that react to these things. So I would say truly it's to make people laugh. Like if I made one person laugh, I was happy.
Yeah. I'm curious now that you said, all these shows take your video and use it for their content. Do they pay you for that?
They can sometimes. Like I did a Got Milk commercial. They paid really well.
Yeah.
Wow.
They used like half a second of like a spoiled milk video. I like got dressed up in a banana suit. I don't know why. Like my followers dared me to do it. I was like, all right, whatever. And I had spoiled milk, and it was like chunky. By the way, I got like food poisoning every single time that I exploded that spoiled milk. Like I would be locked up for a whole day, like just
holy
hanging out, having a blast.
Maybe you should.
Now that's for the love of the craft.
I didn't mean to. Like whatever exploded. And one time it just went all right up my nose.
Perfect.
And I was like,
boy, did you get the views.
oh, I got the views, man. Was it worth it? Who's to say? But I did get. If it made them laugh, it's always worth it. I will give my blood, sweat, and tears. That's why I have literally over 100 tattoos on this leg alone of dares from social media.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But I really think that social media is turning into this thing called, I like to call it direct media, because it's like instead of like having to go to the press to make an announcement, like as a celebrity yourself, like you can just go to your phone and say, hey guys, I'm going to be here now. Like come hang out and like, I'm going to do a meetup or whatever you're doing, like, or if you just have like a really exciting announcement, like you just got a new role and you want to announce it to the world first and you got permission to do that. And it's really like, it's directly at our fingertips, versus the social aspect. I mean, originally, like it was, Mark Zuckerberg created Facebook to be social. That's hence social media, networking in a college, being able to work on projects together, getting to know people in your environment, right? And it's really amazing how it's blossomed into so much more. I mean, it's really entertainment nowadays.
Yeah, and it's also, it brings people together who would never be together.
Absolutely.
You're in New Mexico and there's a guy in Maine who glommed onto your stuff, and it's like it's amazing. It bonds people.
That's right. Absolutely. I mean, that's how like my fiance and I met,
No kidding.
We met in real life at a creator convention, like a VidCon type of event, right? All we did though was just like, hi, I'm Nathan. Hi, I'm Anna. Nice to meet you. Followed each other. And I mean, like less than 30-second interaction with her. And then like a year later, she DM'd me on TikTok.
Liked and subscribed.
She liked and subscribed. Like and subscribe. It's that, what's that called? That like little subtle hints? What's that?
Yeah.
Subliminal messaging.
Subliminal messaging. Thank you. Yes. Subscribe. Exactly. Every time you hear the whistle, you're you're hypnotized.
We just flashed a couple. You know what? I want to go down this rabbit hole really quick. Because I remember subliminal messaging was like a big deal when I was growing up. It was like there's rules against that. Like you can't air, because it was like a proven thing. Like you would like put the cigarette commercials back in the day. They'd have like there's a Family Guy joke where it's like smoke. There really is like ways you can splice something into a frame so quickly. And how do you control that with like nobody's moderating what we put out there, what you put out there, what anybody puts on the internet. So why can't you just put in your own subliminal messaging?
Oh, you can. You can. What we should do for this one is like,
subscribe.
You should have like a micro frame where it just like flashes subscribe, but your brain doesn't even like
what it
see
is.
it.
Yeah, that's like what it is.
They used to do that on like beer commercials way back in the day, right? And,
or even like more subtle than that,
much.
like like out of focus, slightly pixelate.
Right.
It doesn't even have to be a full message, but your brain picks that up like a optical illusion or something.
I know, man.
I'm on this optical illusion subreddit right now.
Oh, really?
It pops up on my feed like every day.
How did you get down that route?
I don't know. It was just like on my front page one day. And the brain is capable of some crazy stuff.
I can imagine.
Like you can't always believe what you're seeing. Like illusions are crazy.
You got to send me some of this stuff. I want to see it.
I'll send you.
My eyes are so weird.
Sorry, I had to go down that.
No, that's awesome. Like I've never even like used Reddit, so I don't.
Yeah,
I don't even know what it like. Anna watches a podcast religiously, and it's like the Smosh. Have you guys heard of Smosh?
Of course, yeah.
So Smosh is just like a huge OG YouTube channel, and all they do is read Reddit stories, and it's fascinating. Like the things that I'm like, this is on Reddit? Like, what?
Wow.
Okay, yeah. I thought Reddit was for like stocks and stuff, like back in like the GameStop stocks, or I don't even know. But yeah, where were we?
We were
I don't know, but
lost.
Jim, I want to get your opinion on like because you've been around the entertainment industry for 4 decades.
Yes.
And so, I mean, when you started, there wasn't even, was there cable? There was no cable.
Gosh, let me think. That's a good question. Boy, it was, yeah, there was cable. It was a few years old.
Yeah.
There was NBC, ABC, CBS, PBS. Then there was something that my good buddy Ken Papagan was involved with called On TV. And you had to buy a separate gizmo and you plugged in and you turned off put it on channel whatever and then click that on. And then, you could see the latest Clint Eastwood movie or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that was the precursor to cable in general. And then it just, the whole world exploded.
Yeah. So what's it been like witnessing all the different transformations and permutations, I should say, of entertainment, how it's been consumed and...
Well, it's interesting for me because my generation, we went from, I can remember the first time I ever saw a TV. I don't know what I was, 4 or 5. We did have a TV, but it was broken for like 3 years. And I said, it'd be nice if we could. So anyway, we finally got one. And it was black and white. So I went from black and white TV to this thing, to satellite, to, pictures of ostensibly the man on the moon. As far as we know, and to podcasting.
Yeah.
And now we've got screens galore for everything. Our phones have screens.
Yeah. It's just, and it's constantly adapting into more and more and more.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get the implant and you could read the inside of your forehead. Excuse me. I'm watching The Fugitive from 1969. What do you...
Yeah.
I mean, now that you mentioned that, I think in the last 2 decades, really the only thing that's changed as far as the way we film and consume media has been the amount, like you just said, of screens in the room. I mean, if you go back to 2006 is 20 years ago now, the iPhone was out.
Yep.
It's the speed and the amount of information that's changed really in the last 2 decades. The technology hasn't changed that much. I mean,
it's true.
If I'm not mistaken, I mean, 1080p was like what?
Oh yeah.
I want to say in like the late 2000s, and then 4K was like in the early 2010s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
You guys let me know in the comments. But I mean, other than the speed and the rate at which we consume the media, all that's really changed in the last 2 decades.
Is where.
Is that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the where and how.
I mean, because if you think about 2006, what was possible, we had phone cameras that weren't that good, but we had camcorders that were, fabulous.
Yeah.
From 2006, go back another 20 years, 1986. I mean, look at that. Now we're looking at Betamax and VHS and
Quantum leap
no
almost.
DVDs. So what I'm ultimately trying to say and bring up in conversation, let me hear your thoughts on this, is where does it go from here? It almost needs like a new physical medium to be invented, I know. And I guess the metaverse is maybe they wanted that to be kind of, virtual reality. But what do you think?
I do think it's going to like metaverse land, like they're creating all sorts of brain chips, like Neuralink is creating a brain chip where you can like download your brain onto a chip, which is, I just can't even fathom it. And I think that AI too is also really pushing things. But like I just got I've always here and there have bought like a Samsung phone just to be like, all right, how does that phone compare to an iPhone? But I've always had an iPhone since I was in high school. And I just got another Samsung phone because I was like, man, like I love the iPhone and everything, but it's like the same since it came out. It's just an iPhone. But the Samsung, I'm like, whoa, this is such it's a whole new interface of my phone, and it's just as light and thin as an iPhone. So it's like, literally it's like exactly the same size. So
that's right.
And that's even thinner when you fold it out, which
now
is
Samsung
wild.
paying you right now to say this?
No, I mean, but I'm just saying, hashtag not sponsored, no. Samsung, please sponsor me. But no, I mean, it's so fun to see the differences where it's like, wait, this is a
That's pretty cool.
This is a 200 megapixel camera versus a 48 megapixel camera. I mean, we're talking a quantum leap right there. Like that's
true.
Huge difference in
It really is.
what you're filming. I mean, we're talking about like TV studio level of huge megapixel cameras to the 48. I mean, like that's it's out at the same time. Like, you know, it's like, wait, now we're starting to see who's gonna push the envelope more.
Yeah.
And again, with the Neuralink, with a brain chip type of thing, it's like, how is that even gonna work? You know? But I used to watch these like sci-fi shorts of the week, and that's literally what they're called if you like Google sci-fi shorts of the week. There's this one called Sight, and it was an eye chip that you could see everything in life, where it's like, you know, let's say they were like cutting just like a zucchini, and it like lined up like where it was like a game, and you had to like chop
augmented
it on the
reality.
Yeah, it was augmented reality, but like really just like right there, right now, where it's like if you wanted to fact check what you were saying, they would just fact check it right then and there.
Yeah.
In the moment, it's wild that it's like, wait, that's like within
It's a little intrusive.
grasp. It's definitely
mean, like,
invasive.
a lot.
Yeah. But I wonder how far we really are from that. I mean, it feels like we're only 5-10 years away from
Right? I know. It doesn't feel like it's that far away.
And you know, I remember there's a fact out there, as far as I'm concerned, that science fiction always predicts science fact. And I mean, Isaac Asimov and all the things that he came up with, he basically designed the lunar landing module
Wow.
in the 40s.
Wow.
He said, well, we had to use a tripod because when we landed on the moon, and the gravity was so different that we had to do something, and that's exactly how it was.
Yeah.
And I remember in the very first Star Wars, if you recall, R2-D2 went to say Obi-Wan Kenobi, or who was Princess Leia. It was a projection, but it was a 3D projection, and I'm thinking, when's that coming out? And it's been a long time, but I'm sure in our lifetime, I hope, there will be something, a chip on the wall or something and we can watch a Western right here, and there'll be people, you know, if just all you need, perhaps a black wall somewhere, and it'll illuminate, and there'll be 3D holograms walking around the room, shooting each other, having gun battles.
Yeah,
I mean, it's got to happen. I mean, it's going to be limited by the production, by the individual show to show, but I gotta believe it'll be there.
Well, you know, I think they kind of have that where it's like with Call of Duty and like the, you know, those goggles that they'll put on, like the Apple Vision. And
That's
it's
true.
like,
Yeah, that
just
is
doing
true.
that. And like, I think there's like one where you like kind of get into almost like a rock climbing harness type of thing. And it's like a treadmill. It's an omni treadmill. And it runs in every direction. And, you know, they're like in a whole battle scene right in their living room, you know?
Right.
And or in a room like this, like on a set where it's like, you know, they go to a place to play video games. So that alone blows my mind, where it's like they're literally in a video game at that point.
Yeah, well, I remember this is years ago out at the house. Cameron and you were there, and you were taking turns putting on this this.
Oh
mask.
we were playing,
and it was like. And he was getting ready to shoot people. Oh, now it's time to fight. And I'm going to duck. He's going to deck me. you know, and he's fighting a nothing in the room. But in his head, he was on Mars or somewhere.
I'll tell you what, I think
Crazy.
I remember what you're talking about. And I think we were playing Silent Hill, a horror game in virtual reality.
Yep.
I'll never play another horror game in virtual reality. That is like too far for me.
Because
I get easily scared, like a haunted house.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm easily jump scared. Jump
100%.
scares, I don't even consider jump scares scary. I just don't like the feeling of it.
Yes.
It's like if I clapped and yelled right now, you know, you can get jump scared. It's not like it's scary.
Right. It's not,
Right. It's just
it's
the
not like
reflex.
Dracula.
But holy crap, when you're looking around in VR and then there's just
can't
a
take it
demon in your
off.
face, like,
Yeah.
no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Your whole head vibrates from it. It's like, I died, darn it. You know? Man, it's wild. Like the reactive suits that they're like building to like actually put you fully in the video game.
Yeah.
Where it's like it'll like vibrate if it like hits your arm or whatever. I mean, the technology is absolutely insane. But I even wonder if like we actually need holograms. I'm sure for like engineering and things like that, and like astrophysicists, like sure they need it, but like I mean, like with FaceTime, it's like, would you rather you hold it like this and they like pop up right here, but they're like Star Wars style, all blue, right?
Yeah.
Or would you rather just like see them and be like, all right, bye, and you hang
I
up?
think
Like,
the ultimate, at least for me, would be like some sort of like contact lens that could record. Like there's one of my favorite episodes of Black Mirror. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's an episode where they all get this like little chip and they record everything that they're seeing, and then they can play it back and play it onto a screen project. To me, that's got to be, even with like, imagine you put something in your ear like the size of like, say, like an AirPod.
Yeah.
And then you had a contact in, and that recorded everything.
Like
everybody
Dragon
would
Ball
do that.
Z style, the like,
literally,
the scouter, right? Yeah.
I feel like everybody would do that.
Absolutely.
Like, look at how much we record everything. I mean, not even for entertainment purposes. Look at how much, protests and, political arguments and you see two people arguing. What does everybody do? Whips out a phone and films the altercation.
That's for sure, yeah.
Right.
It's like, it's just such a, we were at a museum, well, actually Bass Pro Shops last year.
Yeah, that's right.
We were at a museum, and they have like a historical museum in there and a freaking massive like zoo, pretty much, aquarium and everything. Anyway, it just got me thinking, because they have, these old of like what Native Americans used to wear, and, how they would look. They have their outfits, up on mannequins and stuff. And us as human beings have always combined whatever technology we have of our time with as close to us, as physically as close to us as possible. I mean, you think about a walking stick, we're integrating things literally into our physical being with the technology base around us. You can really see it with the evolution of fashion. What we used to wear, leather hides, all this stuff from killing animals. That's how we could keep ourselves warm. And then you look at, with the advances of technology, starting to wear polyester and microplastics and all that. We would have done that before if we had the technology.
That's right.
And then so all of a sudden, now we're wearing all this plastic. I mean, look at how much fashion is technology based now. You go to a rave, people are wearing LEDs, you see performances where the costume have battery. We were just talking about it on the other day about, in the winter, people who have coats that are battery powered to heat each other.
Oh, I know.
Heat them up. And
I'm waiting until they make like shoes that sync with your phone, so it tells you how many steps you get.
Dude, that's been a thing for years. I remember Nike ran a huge campaign on that.
What?
There was an app that went to your phone, and the shoes that they sold for Nike. I'm gonna look it up and put this in a clip right now if you guys didn't know this, because now I'm showing my age. I've been around. But yeah, they had a little sensor in the heel, and it would show your stats for everything, like when you went on a run or whatever.
Damn.
That is so cool.
I didn't
can
know
tell
that.
you like your heart rate too, like somehow.
Probably.
I'm sure they have that.
Well, can't the watch can do that?
Oh yeah,
right?
the watches can do that, but it'd be so cool if your shoes could just do that, and then you just like bonk it. And it's like, yeah, here's your heart rate. It's like, okay, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I feel like a caveman sometimes. It's like, wow, amazing.
Technology is moving so rapidly.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
A day in the real world is like a week on social media.
Yeah. Well, isn't there like something like, I don't know, it's every day or week or month or whatever, the amount of footage that's uploaded to YouTube is like too much to watch in a lifetime every single day.
100%.
That's how much. And I think that goes back, Jim, let me hear what you think about this, just to relate it back to animation and the entertainment industry as a whole. I think the entertainment industry has always been tough to get into, right? Mm-hmm. But I think it's shifted from when you were, like first entering to when now
very
you
much
were,
so.
A couple of years ago. And I think that it used to be hard to get into because you had to be in LA, pretty much.
That's right.
You physically had to be in another city.
Yeah,
that's why everybody packed up their bags, want to be a star, go to Hollywood.
Yes, indeed.
So that was limiting in that way. And now, in the time that's come up to now where it's so accessible, but now that is tough because now you have to stand out from such a large crowd of people. Now everybody can do it. So you need production value. You need, a shtick or a character or something that makes you unique. Yeah. And all that's to say is, I mean, we're talking about the future here now too. How is that going to change? How is that battle to be, the person in front?
Yeah. Well, there's an adage. It said that talent will always out. And that's good and probably true. I mean, that maybe like that, let's call that 85, 75% true. Because a lot of it is chance. I mean, I was born in Youngstown, Ohio. And if I tried to do what I ended up doing in Youngstown, Ohio, I'd be selling shoes. There's no, you have to go where that stuff happens. And I don't know that that's going to change, but 100%. But like for someone such as yourself, you've had all this incredible success with your own cameras, with your own microphones, with your own skits, with your own writing, and
just to
it's
interject,
just a new world.
You said it just now. I mean, you have to go where is working for you. Did you feel like you had to do that as far as going to a different platform? Did you feel like you had to be on TikTok? Did you feel like you had to be on Snapchat or YouTube or whatever? Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I was like born on TikTok, if you will, in the world of social media, and starting there, there was no payment when I started, right? So for the first 6 months 7 months on the platform, started March 3rd, it wasn't until September that I actually got a payment for the first time. So even though these videos were getting 10 million views or whatever millions of views, wasn't seeing a single cent, even when it was on the TV shows.
Really has to accumulate, doesn't it? I mean,
yeah. And
what's behind that? I mean, if you start off with 10 million, is that viable?
Nothing.
Is that a launch pad? I mean, it's a launch pad.
It's a start, but it really only got me to 100,000 followers, because just because you got 10 million views doesn't mean you're getting the following and building an
I was going to
audience.
ask you that. How many? Okay, so if you have, because we've got different stats on that as well, and if you get 1 million views, you get how many followers?
It can be anywhere from 100 to 10,000. Yeah, you're not really going to get 100,000 followers from 1 million views, but you'll get 1%,
Oh, wow.
Or you can get up to 5%, I would say. But if, you're not really going to see
So you really have to knock it out of the park.
Yeah, I have one video that hit 1 billion views. I think I mentioned that. And from that, I gained, I believe it was 1 million subscribers.
Jeez.
That's
so 1 billion.
1,000 to 1, yeah.
So 100 million, 10 million, 1 million. So
all those subscribers
1%.
is amazing, but look what it took to get them.
Yes, years, to really build and then again, there's also, so to answer your question though, I was on TikTok and I was like, man, how am I going to make money? Then I started paying out. YouTube wasn't paying, Snapchat, Instagram, nowhere else was paying for shorts yet. And so then I pivoted over to Instagram because I was like, this is a good platform. I guess this is what I have to do to make an income is get brand deals. So it's Instagram and TikTok. Then brand deals started going to TikTok. But I always thought, I was like, YouTube is really the crown jewel of social media. And that is where you can have a living. And so in 2022, I jumped onto the YouTube bandwagon. And
that's when they first came out with shorts, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah. Yes. I think it was end of 2021 is when they came out with shorts. I got in on 2022 in the summertime. And, so it'll be 4 years in July or June, I think, or maybe it's August. But yeah, so in, the ability to go viral though on YouTube is so much stronger and more power and more reach than any other platform. Because you're not going to get on TikTok 100 million views regularly. And now on YouTube, I have a new video every month that hits 100 million views.
And do you think
that's amazing?
Why do you think that is? Do you think that's because YouTube and Google owns YouTube, right?
Yes.
Do you think that's because they're the most established company behind it?
Yes.
Or another thing that creeps into my mind is demographic. At least my belief, and you probably have the numbers, but I feel like Snapchat, TikTok have a higher presence of children than YouTube does.
It's honestly, each platform is pretty much equal with the kids that use it. It's more of our adults on the other platforms.
Yeah.
Because kids always want to consume content, right? And that's being raised in a technological age is oh yeah, this is just part of my life. All of my friends are on it, so I'll be on it.
Right.
But I would say Snapchat nowadays it is mostly younger. My primary age demographic there is 13 to 17. Whereas on YouTube it's 25 to 35, But also a lot of those accounts are their kids watching, and you know, they're anywhere from like 4 to 14 years old or whatever, you know, are probably watching on their parents' accounts who are in the 25 to 45 age range. But I would say that because YouTube has been around the longest, they don't have as many AI accounts or just like bot accounts, if you will. Whereas like, you know, TikTok did start with a lot of bot accounts. And by 2022, every creator started seeing this plummet in their engagement because we were all getting like 20 to 30% engagement, where it's like, okay, I have 100,000 views. That means I'll have 20,000 to 30,000 likes. Now it's like you have 100,000 views. It's like you'll have like 7,000 to 10,000 likes.
Wow.
And that's bots.
And that's now it's real people. It was, I believe it was
to
AI.
inflate it in the beginning to make it look more important.
That's right.
So I feel like that's just kind of like a good business decision.
It is. It's like a smart.
You kind of have to. You know, they probably had like, well, they definitely had investors. You know, here, pump this out here. You know, they say like
that's right.
Takes money to make money. Right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Got to come in with a bang.
Yeah, with YouTube, it's been around for so long that when you see like, oh, we have a billion active users, it's really 1 billion human beings who are active on YouTube daily. You know what I mean, or whatever. I believe maybe it's like 1.1 billion. I don't actually know. It's something insane though.
But that's a lot of folks.
It's a lot of folks. Yeah, it's a lot of real human beings who, you know, when I would go out with 10 million on TikTok, 10 million followers on TikTok, never get recognized. But now I go with 10 million on YouTube, and it's like we got stopped. I think like 22 times today or something ridiculous. Like
a couple of weeks ago, we had lunch. And you go, yes, that's me.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.